Hello, thank you for joining. Cool. Great day to be an American. That's what somebody said. Yes, I am cheersing to the verdict. Hey guys. Was wishing you would talk about this. Someone said, hey Sarah, fantastic news. Justice has been served. Okay, so if you don't know what everyone is talking about, we've been following. Yes, today is an awesome day. All right, cheers to anyone that is watching. It is a really good day. Steve, thank you so much. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. It's a very great day. I'll be honest with you all. Here's my thoughts, and I've told you guys this before. BRB cracking a freshie. Okay, great. We'll all cheers together. It's a wonderful day. And if you are new to what's happening, Kyle Rittenhouse has been acquitted on all of the charges, which is really good news. And I'll be honest with you guys, after the jury left for deliberation, I was a little worried about this. It was going to go one of two ways. It was going to be the corporate media won and intimidated the jurors, or it was going to be a day of bravery and justice. And I'm very happy to say that it is the latter. So there's bravery and there's justice. And Kyle Rittenhouse has been acquitted of everything. He's found not guilty. If you watched it in the courthouse, he broke down into tears. Someone said the video of the verdict is very heavy in a good way. Yes. So do yourselves a favor, go watch the video of the verdict. Or I wonder, you know what? I have my computer right here. I wonder if I can play it for you. It's a very heavy video, and it just reminds you that this kid has been through so much. And to watch him, he just completely broke down into tears. Let me see if I can find this for you. So it's a great day. Okay. 27 are here. Awesome. Hello from Northeast Ohio. Not guilty. Hell yeah, it's a great day until I go to work. LOL. But I'm glad he was found not guilty. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't sure. I mean, as far as justice, it should have been not guilty, but you don't always know. And you don't know. I was a little bit worried that the jury was going to be intimidated enough to not have a fair verdict. See if I can. The View is having a meltdown. The View is going to have a meltdown. Joy Reid is going to have a meltdown. I'll go ahead and read you some takes already, coming from corporate media and coming from people on the left. So here are some takes that we have already. So just expect this. So I said earlier, justice won over corporate media, which is true. So time for Kyle to start suing the lying corporate media and people like Joe Biden. So this is what I'm thinking is going to happen. I think he's going to start going after these people. I think he's going to start suing. And I would imagine his legal team has already teed up to do that, because he got smeared like crazy. And this case is such a clear example of how the media tried to go with a narrative instead of trying to find the truth. And all of these people continuing this talk about him being this or being that or being a murderer or white supremacist, that will just go to show you automatically who actually paid attention, who actually cared about the truth and all of that. So, okay, so we already have Ayanna Pressley saying, a 17-year-old white Supreme Sandwich domestic terrorist drove across state lines armed with an AR-15. He shot and killed 2 people who had assembled to affirm the value, dignity, and worth of Black lives. And that was her response to the verdict. So you're going to see a lot of this. And what I say automatically is shut that down automatically. And this is what I said in response to this. I said, a liar, total liar. This is why our country is so divided, folks. If she cared to be honest, if she cared to actually watch any of the trial or look at the evidence, there is no way she could say this. No way. These people are awful, and that's true. Ilhan Omar said a domestic terrorist executed 2 people, according to Tucker and his supporters. This is maintaining order. They're going to continue to try to gaslight. And that's exactly what they will do and what they will continue to do. This is Ventura Media. So this is an independent journalist, and this is very true. He says, the Rittenhouse trial is a great example of how important it is to have journalists on the front lines. The corporate press attempted to control the narrative, but the video evidence was too much to overcome. And this is what happened. If these independent journalists were not on the ground to film what was happening and to not capture this footage, because that's the thing, everything that happened with Rittenhouse is on film, all of it. And there are multiple angles. So that's how you know if someone is still trying to go with this narrative, they clearly don't care about the truth. Otherwise, they would have looked at the footage and they would have a different opinion. So there were independent journalists here on the ground, and that's why Kyle Rittenhouse wasn't burned at the stakes, in my opinion. And CNN wasn't there on the ground. Fox News wasn't there on the ground. It was independent journalists that got all of this footage that was able to be evidence in the trial. And here's what Ben Shapiro said. Someone said Bill de Blasio is still tweeting about the trial. I saw that too. I think I have it here to read for you. But Ben Shapiro said, not guilty was the correct verdict. Anyone with a prefrontal cortex who had watched the trial for more than 30 seconds knew this. Anyone who says differently is a lying hack. I totally agree with that. And this was so important, not only for the Second Amendment, not only for Kyle Rittenhouse, but really just for justice. And this, I think, hopefully, this sent the corporate media a message. You're not as powerful as you think you are. You can't just create a narrative out of thin air and decide that a 17-year-old kid is going to be your scapegoat, because your narrative is more important than justice and your narrative is more important than the truth. Julio Rosas, he's another independent journalist. He says, if you are in shock over the verdict, get a better news source. Chris, thank you so much. He's free. Hoping you all are doing well. Chris, thank you so much. I appreciate that. A great day for independent media. Oh, here's what Bill de Blasio said. So this is the mayor of New York. And keep in mind, these are politicians that are saying all of this stuff. So Bill de Blasio said this in response to the verdict. He says, Anthony Huber and Joseph Rosenbaum are victims. They should be alive today. The only reason they're not is because a violent, dangerous man chose to take a gun across state lines and start shooting people. That is not what happened, but this is what these politicians are trying to do. These politicians and certain people in media are still trying to control the narrative and not allow you to have the truth. And I'm always a defender of truth, always. And I said in response to this, do yourself a favor and stop listening to these idiots. Do your own research. If you didn't understand the verdict, then watch the actual trial. This is how they get away with all the race baiting and fake news. Do your own research. Go to the source. This is what I started doing at the very beginning. When I saw all this craziness against Donald Trump, I wouldn't just listen to coverage of his speeches. I would go to the actual speech and watch it myself and come up with my own opinion. And a lot of times that's when I learned, oh, you can take a 30-second clip out of context and really make it whatever you want it to be. Anomaly, he's a favorite commentator of mine. He says, mainstream media is still the most evil entity on planet Earth. They support politicians who want to steal your income, close your business, force you to get injections, and watch your city burn to the ground while they call you a supremacist for defending your country. I agree with that. And this was a big day for justice, big middle finger to the corporate media. You cannot control us.
Put in an incredible amount of effort.
Okay, can you guys hear this? Here, I'm going to show you. This is Rittenhouse's attorney. Boop. Okay. Hey, tech. High tech is what I meant to say.
We're happy that the jury took the time, put in an incredible amount of effort. There were times we doubted the case. There were times we were confident. And to say that we were relieved would be a gross misunderstatement. And Kyle is not here. He's on his way home. He wants to get on with his life. But as he's...
I'm back. Don't worry, I'm back. I resumed. Okay, here we go. He's saying Kyle wants to get on with his life.
A gross misunderstatement. And Kyle is not here. He's on his way home. He wants to get on with his life. He has a huge sense of relief for what the jury did to him today. He wishes none of this would have ever happened. But as he said when he testified, he did not start this. And we're thankful in more ways than one that the jury finally got to hear the true story. And when I say the media, I'm talking about social media and things like that, the story that came out from the beginning was not the true story. And that was something that we had to work to overcome in court. And we think we did that.
Cool. So they were just talking about how relieved everyone was. And that's how I felt. I was scared. Was this going to be, I really thought that it was very possible that there would be a guilty verdict simply because of the pressure by the media and by the crowd. So hopefully things will be safe in Wisconsin. Hopefully people will not be rioting and burning things down. So we'll just have to wait and see about that. But this is a very, very happy moment. Someone says Rittenhouse is about to get that Nick Sandman cheddar. Yeah, I hope he does. I hope he sues all of them. I have a feeling I have a feeling that his team, they're ready to go for this and they're ready to go after people. I think that's great news. I hope he does. I hope he sues them. I hope he gets money from all of these people. I'm trying to see if there are more updates. So someone said, do all the people on social media who claimed Kyle Rittenhouse was guilty over the past year, do they get suspended now for misinformation? Probably not. But I will tell you, they're going to continue to run with this narrative. People are going to continue to listen to it and think that's true. And that's been my message from the very beginning. Always go to the source. You know, like if I watched a clip of a speech, I went and I watched the whole speech. If I was watching coverage on a trial, I went to watch the actual trial, or at least moments of it. I didn't watch the entire Kyle Rittenhouse trial. I watched a lot of it. And it exactly what Ben Shapiro said. It took about 30 seconds of watching this trial to see that this was pretty clear self-defense. It was, I do not know that much about the law, but I would say that this was cut and dry self-defense. A lot of people said, what was a 17-year-old doing there? Why did he cross state lines with this? Well, what was anyone else doing there? And actually the last person who the media called the lone survivor, the last person actually traveled farther. What's his name? Gage Grosskreutz. He actually traveled farther than Kyle Rittenhouse did to get to Kenosha. So nobody was questioning why he was there, and his firearm was illegal. So nobody was questioning what this person was doing there with a firearm that was illegal, but everyone was questioning Kyle. And so we're going to continue to have this. There are going to be people that do not care about the truth. There are going to be people that only care about furthering their narrative, whatever their chosen narrative was before this even happened. Someone said the National Guard is on site from what I heard. No BS this time. I really hope so. I really hope everyone learned their lesson. and that everything's going to be okay, because in the very beginning, a lot of these riots, they could have been shut down so easily, but they allowed them to go on. They told officers to stand down. And when you tell officers to stand down, there were families in Kenosha that were afraid to stay in their own homes. There were families that went and stayed in churches and that put signs out in front of their businesses saying, please leave us alone. So when the government fails to provide basic law and order, you're going to see citizens stand up and take matters into their own hands, which I'm saying, no, they shouldn't ever even have to do that. But you can't cry, defund our police, make police officers stand down, and then at the same time, wonder why citizens feel the need to go out and protect people. And people say it's just property, it's just a business. A business can be somebody's entire life. That can be someone's entire life's work that goes into that business. And to see it gone like that. And another thing is, most of the people that were out getting arrested rioting in Kenosha, these were not people that were from Kenosha. They were from other people. They were from other areas in the U.S. The mentally and spiritually lobotomized are all focused on Kyle, but not what led to him being there. Thank you, Dan. Exactly. Why did Kyle feel the need to be there? And I think like anyone that cares about their country, anyone that cares about other people, anyone that cares about safety and who's brokenhearted by seeing bad things happen to regular people, why was he there? What led him to being there? And that's the failure. And I really do think that, you know, the local government in Kenosha, come to find a lot of these people are connected. The local government, I think, failed because they told their officers to stand down. They allowed 3 nights in a row of rioting. It was after the second night that Kyle decided to be there, watching this happen on news for 2 nights in a row. And I think that the local government attempted to use, which is very despicable, attempted to use Kyle as a scapegoat to distract from their own failures. And that's a question. Why was Kenosha allowed to burn for 3 nights? Did you read Wisconsin's governor's statement? No. Can I find it? Wisconsin governor's statement on what? Kenosha or the trial? Let's just see what pops up. Ugh, he is vile. Oh, the governor of Wisconsin? I can't find it. From what you guys are saying, I'm guessing it's not good. Okay, so here's, this is Kyle Rittenhouse walking out of the courtroom. Can you guys see it? I know there's a glare. So that's Kyle walking out of the courthouse, a free man. Did you say I can see it? I hope so. Rittenhouse defense attorney, Kyle is not here. He's on his way home. He wants to get on with his life. I'm sure he wants to get on with his life. Well, those rioters were extremely violent and very erratic. Nobody knows if they would assault or, God forbid. Yeah, and imagine if and that's really, again, like that's what won this case was the independent media and their coverage of this. And the fact that they were on the ground and they had all this video footage. If they didn't have this video footage, Kyle would have been thrown under the bus so easily. Okay, here's Ben Shapiro's take. Here's Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro says, and this is so true, this is how insane our media is, and people just eat this stuff up. So Ben Shapiro says, young white man goes to city to defend private property against rioters, shoots 3 white people trying to kill him, wrongfully prosecuted, correctly acquitted. The media says this is evidence that America hates black people. And that's exactly how you can sum this up. There were people that honestly did not know. I was seeing reports of this everywhere online. There were people that honestly had no idea until the trial that the people that Kyle shot were white. There were people that didn't know this. And that's the problem too. You have a problem of media that lies, media that's more focused on a narrative rather than the truth. But you also have people that will just believe anything that's said, no matter how absurd it sounds. And they won't look into anything, but they'll get upset about things. They'll believe it. They'll even show up to a protest, not even knowing the whole story. I remember I told you guys this story when I was living in West Hollywood in May of 2020 last year. And where I lived, it was like protest central. And I would have people showing up. I remember one day like walking outside of my house and I would have spillover from the protest. And I remember walking outside and seeing a sign. This girl had a sign that said she was asleep in her bed. Well, she was referring to Breonna Taylor. And she still thought, even though the information, the police report, everything had been public for months, she was still under the assumption that Breonna Taylor was asleep in her bed when what happened to her happened. Yet that information had been public for months now, that in fact was not true. And I just remember thinking like, wow, this person went out and bought poster board or whatever, went home and played. Sarah, someone told Fox News they thought everything that MSN told them and what the trial, they realized, yeah, a lot of people are going to get red-pilled because of this trial. I think a lot of people already were red-pilled because of this trial, and even more people are going to be red-pilled because of this trial. But going back to this girl, like, I just remember thinking, like, you spent all this time to get ready to come to this protest. You made a sign, you got in your car, you drove there, yet you didn't actually care to know what was really going on, because again, whatever your narrative is more important than actually doing research on the situation and actually knowing the truth, which I find mind-boggling, because if I care about something, I want to know everything about that thing. I'm constantly reading about it. I'm constantly finding out new information or trying to get to the truth. And it's mind-blowing me how people can be so passionate about the topic, yet not even bother to find out what actually happened, not even bother to find out the truth, because again, it's part of this like ego thing about my narrative is more important. My preconceived narrative, my preconceived notion is way more important. So interesting. Okay, let's see if I have any more Black Lives Matters trending again. Okay, so this is Robert Reach. Well, he is reaching. I told a joke. So these are the kind of takes, again, what you're going to see. So he says, acquitted on all counts after killing 2 Black Lives Matter protesters in Kenosha. This is the same system that sentenced Crystal Mason, a black mother of 3, to 5 years for voting when she didn't realize a felony conviction made her ineligible. America in a nutshell. See, these are people that do not care about the truth. They just want to push their little narrative, their divisive little narrative. These were not Black Lives Matter protesters. By the way, a protest doesn't happen after hours. If you are there after hours, you are probably rioting. When you get a permit to go protest, that is during daytime hours. If you are there after hours, you are not a protester. You are a rioter. So scratch the BLM protesters. And if you want my opinion about a lot of the people that were there that night in Kenosha, this night in Kenosha had been declared a riot. This was the 3rd night in a row that this had already been declared a riot. So nobody that was there was an innocent protester. These were people that were rioting that were not supposed to be there. The only people that were not there rioting, the people that were there protecting, which, yeah, they shouldn't have been there either. The government should have done their basic job and restored law and order. So no, Kyle shouldn't have been there. But at least he was there for a good reason. He was trying to protect things. And again, if the government was doing his job, he wouldn't have been there. And if it was my child, it wouldn't have been there. But I understand why he was there. Yes, someone just said they had a curfew. Exactly. They had a curfew. No one should have been there. So these were not protesters. Yeah, so yeah, expect, a lot of people were saying MSNBC, if you can stomach it, is going to be is going to be very entertaining tonight. I can't wait to see Joy Reid's response to all of this. That will be very, if you can handle it, that will be very entertaining. Oh, okay, here's a take. Here we go. I just want to tell people defending that young man one thing. What do y'all think he is doing out of state at a Black Lives Matter protest with a effing gun? What do you think his intentions were? Yeah, you're going to see takes like that all the time. Well, I think his intentions were to try to protect people and property, and actually, to this person, whoever said that, you clearly didn't care to look into this, because Kyle was interviewed by the independent media. Whoops. Kyle was interviewed by the independent media, and he said exactly why he was there. Exactly why. So he was acting as a medic. Exactly, Glenn. He said exactly why he was there. So again, you have someone that wants to have an opinion, but they don't care to actually look up any facts, or they don't care to actually understand what was going on in the situation. Life is nuanced. I live in the same area as the Covington kids. I know a lot of their families. I knew that was BS from the start. That's what old guy said. Yeah, and apparently Nick Sandmann came out and supported Kyle Rittenhouse, because he has also been at the bad end of the media, the slanderous media. And if we know anything about the Covington kid, Nick Sandmann, he got a nice payout from a lot of these institutions that attempted to slander him. And even though he did, you still have people. It was funny, my boyfriend and I were out to lunch earlier today, and we were sitting next to these two ladies that were very left-leaning, and we were just trying to be quiet to listen to what they said. And it's just insane, the polarization. But again, if you're gonna, I try to have sympathy for people, but at the same time, it's like, if you're going to sit there and care about something enough to have a conversation about it, if you're going to care about something enough to have a public opinion about it, and not saying that you're going to be right, I'm wrong sometimes, but at least try to figure out exactly what was going on. And you can tell right away from who did or who didn't, because the people that have a very polarized opinion of Kyle clearly didn't take the time to actually try to figure out what was going on. I hope the nursing school still lets him attend classes. I'm sure they will, and I have a feeling he's probably studying from home. But the thing is, I think Kyle is going to be okay. His life is going to be a lot different. It's going to be forever changed, but I think there's going to be a lot of people that end up wanting to help him as well, and I think he's going to be just fine. Yeah, so a lot of people are going to have some really bad takes, really bad takes. Imagine thinking that people simply having a gun is shady. Exactly. And what would have happened to Kyle if he didn't have that? Which no one really talks about either. What would have happened to him? I don't know. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to do a quick live and talk about what happened, but I think that's everything. I just wanted to celebrate with you all and talk about that. I'll keep an eye on what's going on the weekend. Hopefully things stay safe. Hopefully people don't riot. And if something does pop off, hopefully, authorities will do their job and aren't told to stand down when stuff's going down. Circle back. Did you see his lawyer talk about the jury? I don't know if I did. I don't know if I did, Glenn. Okay, have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye, Mandy. I wonder if the news will cover it if the prosecutors, oh gosh, get disbarred. Yeah, they did some shady things. Have a great evening and weekend, you all. Okay, I'll see you later, you guys. Have a great night. And see ya. Bye, old guy. Bye, Mr. Old School. You have a nice day, Sarah. Bye, thank you. Bye, have the rest of your day. Okay, bye, Wes. This will be interesting. Okay, yeah, I'll be keeping up to the news and all that stuff. All right, bye, you guys. See you later. Bye.